Hello everybody, welcome to our channel. Today we will discuss the offshore permit to work system with job safety analysis. As we all know, permit to work is a must for every job, every activity when working offshore on a live oil and gas production platform. I find it useful to make some topics for discussion regarding permit to work system here. Hopefully, it will bring some benefits to people who have been working at offshore live plant to ensure safety for everybody. Now let's start. Okay, our topic for discussion today is port bearing installations activities. Now let's go for some specific permit to work for port bearing installation activities at offshore oil and gas production platform. In order to install port bearing, there should be some permits that I can suggest as follows. The first permit is transfer and lifting port bearing and associated materials to installation location. This permit will allow us to transfer all necessary materials, tools, equipment from laydown area to installation location with approved lifting plan. The next permit is erection of habitat, preparation for naked flame activities for welding port bearings and materials at the final location. Next, we need a permit for erection of shelter and operation of the post-preheat treatment machine with the purpose for preheating during welding activities. Permit for operation of hydraulic jacks. This is to jack up and jack down one end of platform bridge. And the last permit, perform naked flame activities for welding port bearings and associated materials. In this video, we are looking into the permit for transfer and lift the hydraulic jacks, port bearing itself and associated materials, tool, equipment to installation location. This is a co-work permit as specified in a live production plant. Now let's have a look at the detailed job title and work description. Job title: transfer and lift hydraulic jacks and accessories, port bearings and associated materials, equipment to installation location at platform bridge area. Work description: transfer construction materials from platform laydown area to final installation location by using pallet jacks. With some detailed tools and equipment materials as follows: 1 notch extended pin 445 kilos, 2 notch port bearing stone 550 kilos each, 36 notch shim plate 135 kilos each, 2 notch port bearing 135 kilos each, 2 notch hydraulic cylinder jack 295 kilos each, and 1 notch power pack 180 kilos. Perform lifting activities to transfer and install hydraulic jacks and accessories. Remove dummy port bearings. Install port bearing and associated materials for port bearing installation activities as per authorized lifting plan. Now let's go to the detailed job safety analysis. Job safety analysis. Okay, let's move on to the detailed JSA. The first section of this JSA is worksite preparation. As you can see in the table, the first column is the hazards and the second column is the mitigations. The first hazard we can have is adverse weather. With adverse weather, we can come up with some mitigation as secure unmovable equipment, ensure favorable weather conditions before job starts. The second hazard is slips and trips. Slip and trips are very basic hazards when we are working at offshore oil and gas platform. With slips and trips hazard, we could have some mitigation. Do not stand on or climb over process pipework to get access to the worksite. Ensure good housekeeping to prevent slips and trips. Keep escape routes clear. The next hazard is worksite core activities. There could be some other activities which would be happening at the same time nearby this job. With worksite core activity hazard, we could have some mitigation, ensure potential work interference is discussed in a toolbox talk. Ensure that non-essential personnel are clear of the worksite. Liaise with adjacent work parties and make them aware of ongoing tasks. Erect signs and barriers. Manual handling could be another hazard for this job. So we should ensure correct posture is used to prevent injury. Use of impact gloves. Identify pinch points for tapping fingers, hands or feet and make work party aware. Ensure good spatial awareness is practiced at all times. The last hazard we could consider here is general platform alarm. So in the event of general platform alarm, make the worksite safe and follow supervisor's instructions. Now let's move on to the main section of this job, that is perform transfer and lifting activities. So we have some hazards together with mitigations here. The first hazard is rules and procedure. Ensure method statement has been provided to work party. For the pot bearing installation activities, there should be a method statement prepared and submitted by the contractor and approved by the client. Apart from the method statement, there must be an approved lifting plan to perform lifting activities for port bearing installations. The second hazard could be use of hand tools. We should examine all hand tools before use. Use right tool for particular work. Ensure impact gloves are worn during task. Ensure work party is aware of line of fire. Work from scaffold. For sure, this job is to work on scaffolding because the working area should be accessed by scaffolding is at the lower bridge of the platform, so we don't have the platform there. We should erect scaffolding for accessibility. So ensure no leaning outside of handrails to conduct work activities. So it means the scaffolding has been erected and certified by green tags, and the people working inside to ensure no leaning outside of the handrails, because if we are leaning outside of the handrails, it should be considered working overboard. Next, ensure scaffolding is certified and tagged before use, usually green tag. Secure tools and equipment with lanyard. The main thing here is lifting and rigging operations. Lifting specialist to be present at site for instructions before job commencement is very important. So lifting specialist must be attended the tools box talk with the workers, with the work party. Ensure approved lifting plan is in place prior to commencement of rigging task. Ensure no personnel are in direct line with load paths when cross-handling. Ensure a designated competent person is present and in charge of the lifting operations. Usually this person is the lifting supervisor from the contractor. Do not block any safety equipment. Erect signs and barriers. Next, lifting equipment. Ensure lifting equipment is marked with a unique ID number, a capacity, safe working load, and displays the current color code. Ensure only authorized competent persons use rigging and lifting equipment. Examine on lifting equipment prior to use. Inspect on shackles and ensure they have the correct pin installed. The last hazard could be potential dropped objects. Before work starts, inspect areas above and below the work site to identify the potential dropped objects. Secure tools and equipment to avoid the risk of objects being dropped. Load to be secured properly in final position before leaving the work site. The last section of this JSA is end of shift, end of job. So when the job is done, when the job is finished. Let's say when we finish one working shift of this job, we should ensure work site is left safe, clean and tidy on completion. Inspect work site for any potential dropped objects and remove. Dropped objects are very dangerous in the offshore working environments. There are many accidents that could lead to casualties with the drop object. Only 5 kilos, 4 kilos of an object being dropped from a height about 3 meters, 4 meters that could lead to a casualty. The last mitigation is perform good housekeeping at the end of each shift. Good housekeeping is a very basic things in offshore working environment. We have gone through the permit and corresponding JSA for activities of transfer and lifting of port bearing and associated materials, tools and equipment. Thanks for your watching. Leave your valuable comments, feedbacks for our continuous development. Please subscribe and share. Together we win. See you in next videos. In the next videos, we will discuss the permit for habitat erection, the permit to operate hydraulic jacks, the permit for post-heat treatment erection of shelter, and operate the post-heat treatment machine for preheating activities, and the permit naked flame activities for welding port bearing. Thanks for your time. See you